Hello viewers, today we are trying to make lamb stew. This is also known as Nihari. This is one of the Pakistani and Indian very famous dish. Normally it's eaten early in the morning as a breakfast with chapati or naans, but it is also equally enjoyable with boiled rice if you want to. And also for that we need lamb. It can be goat, it can be sheep, or it can be beef, whatever, but I prefer baby lamb. But you just make sure that some of the fats is stick there from medium to low fat, and it's not more than these size you need to have it. This is about 1.5 to 2 kilo in weight, and cut it in this one here. This is a slow cooking process. In total it takes about 3 to 4 hours to make it really nice and tasty. So that's lamb there, cut and cleaned up, washed up. You also need chopped onions for frying purposes at the end, fresh ginger, something like about 1.5 to 2 inch just for the garnishing, and also you need fresh chopped garlic, and this is what we need to be starting with. And nevertheless we also need to have about 1 cup to 1.25 cup of cooking oil, which is getting warmed up, which is getting hot at the moment. So let's get started. First of all, we need to add garlic into that cooking oil. Slightly brown it up, and straight with the garlic, because that takes really quick to burn it. So straight on you need to add 1 pack of this Nihari. This is called Shan Nihari recipe and seasoning mix. Everything you need, spices, everything is there. Whatever you need for 1.5 to 2 kilo is easily available on any Indian shop, so you can get that. So you just make sure you just quickly fry it. Don't let it to get too much browned up, and then you add your pieces of meats into it, one at a time. Just quickly stir it, let the aroma get into it, turn it over, add the second piece, do the same. Just turn it over as well. The idea of this is that it will take away all that odor of the raw meat, and it will add into this really nice spicy flavor with garlic, and it will stay there in all this process. I'll add the third piece there. As you can see, there is some fat attached into it. Some people, they also add bone marrow or some leg pieces as well, but I prefer just a 1 small to medium leg itself, cut into 3 to 4 pieces, which can settle into your pot easily. So you just turn it over as well, so all the spices they get into it. And finally the last piece goes in. The reason for us to leave it in a bigger pieces than usual, because it takes, as I said, it takes about 3 to 4 hours to cook it. It's normally cooked on a low to very medium heat, and that's what tenderizes the meat on a very slow process. And after 3 to 4 hours it's really tender, and all these pieces, I will show you at the end how do they come out. Once you mix all of that, then you need about 2.5 to 3 liter of fresh water. Just pour it all in. Give it a good old stir. Okay, so you're now adding some more water, because after this adding we won't come back to it for until about 3 to 4 hours and let it get simmer in its all juices on a medium to high heat at the moment. As soon as the first boil comes in, we will turn the heat on to very low to medium heat there. Okay, just nice and easy. For now I'm gonna put it on the higher heat and cover it up and give it about 5-8 minutes, 10 minutes. When it starts to cook up, the first boil comes in, we're gonna just stir it after that and leave it from a slow to medium heat. So I'll see you in about 10 to 15 minutes. So yes, it's been about 10 to 15 minutes now. As you can see, it has boiled up. So we'll just lower the heat to medium, maybe 7 to 8 temperature there. Give it a little stir. Boiling up nice and smooth. Just give it an old stir. Mix it up all together. Not too much at this stage. You can see the beautiful color has already started to show up. Just after stirring, let's just a little bit. Put the lid back on. And now the slow cooking procedure starts, and we will come back to it something like about an hour and a half in the middle of it, just to see how it's going, and then it will take a further hour and a half to 2 hours to finalize it. So see you again. Right, welcome back there. So it has been about 1 hour and 40 minutes. So let's see how far has it gone through now. As you can see, the oil has starting to come up on the surface, and it's really nice textures coming up as well. And I think that that's gone tender enough already. Let's check it. I think that's tender enough already, but I would have another hour for it to get it even more tender and get all the spices and all the juices mixed in. And see you in a little while. Hi guys, welcome back once again. It's been almost 3 hours now, and it is very much tender, I believe. And this is the time that we just fry some onions into its own oil. So the oil on the surface, you just carefully just take it out and pour it into a nice clean pan. You need about a couple of spoons, 3 spoons, just to fry the onions we cut earlier. This will save you the excessive oil when you are eating it. Some people like to add more oil separately when they are frying the onions, but I rather just use its own, which is full of flavor, and it's a little bit less oily as well at the end. So we use the same oil there, and we can just fry the onions while this is getting a little bit more tendered. I've just added a few spoons of oil, warm it up a little bit more, and then we can just fry the onions and leave it to simmer until then as well. There goes the onions. And I shall see you in a bit. Right guys, the onions are fried. We need to get them brown fried, and that's continuously simmering away. What we need to do, we can just add these fried onions now into the thing while it is still simmering. And I would like to tell that some people, they love to add some corn flours before this step to make it a little bit thick textured, but I rather have a little bit lighter version of it. Just slightly mix it up together so all the onions are mixed in, and you can see that the flavors, the spices, they are all blended in all nicely. So as I was saying, that if it's your choice, if you want to add corn flour, get about 2 tablespoons of corn flour in a plain water, cold water, just mix it up and add gradually before you put in the onion. That's to just thicken up the texture. But if you rather skip it, as I have skipped it, you can just add the onions after you fried it, simmer it for another 4-5 minutes on a little bit of higher heat, and after 3 to 4 minutes you will be all ready to serve. Okay, so that's the end result, guys. That's the end result. As you can see, this has come up rather nicely. I have deliberately left it a little bit lighter. I haven't added the corn flour into it, but some people, as I was saying, that they would like to have it. And also one more point here, that it is from medium to high spicy. If you would like to have a little bit less or mild, or even less than that, you just use a little bit less spice in the beginning when we were pouring it into the oil to fry it up. And also, these are the fresh ginger on the top, just to garnish it. It is entirely your choice. If you want to go for it, please go for it. If you don't want to go for it, that still tastes as equally nicer as well. Serve it with the fresh lemon. Just sprinkle a few drops on top. Optional again with the naan or just plain boiled rice. I hope you liked it. Please give it a try and leave me comments if you like it. Thank you.